Yo, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And in today's episode, we got a special guest here, Jesse Gordichuk from the Danville Dashers, goaltender in the FHL in the Federal Hockey League. So let's get right to this. Jesse, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just excited to have this opportunity to speak with you, and I'm excited to kind of let my story go.
Yeah, no problem. It's gonna be a fun one. So let's get right into it. All right. So you played junior hockey for the Penticton Lakers and the OCU's Coyotes in the KIJHL. What were
Yeah,
those? What were those like years like?
those are pretty good. I was younger there. I was I believe 16. So the KIJHL, the Kootenay International Junior Hockey League, that is just a junior B league back around my hometown there, and Penticton, is where I've moved and lived since I was 13, so I kind of call it my home base there, and just kind of played hometown there, and then I went a little bit to the Western States Hockey League for a bit for the Ontario Avalanche and the WSHL. Played half a season there before returning back to the Soyuz Coyotes. I kind of just wanted to stick around home a little closer, and those were probably some of my funnest junior experiences. Just kind of going with the flow and experience junior hockey at such a young age.
Yeah, for sure. You seem like you're moving around a lot during like your junior career. Did that like have any effect on you or?
No, not really. Most of the time, the reasons like moving around between juniors and stuff like that is just kind of finding my right spot. I always just kind of really enjoy playing and everything like that. So I kind of go where I have the best opportunity to play my game and not worried about it too much, like backing up and stuff. Is just kind of finding a place that suited me at the right time back then.
Yeah, so when you went to OCU's the Coyotes, you played in 18 playoff games that season and only 7 the regular season. What was that experience like for like going in the playoffs and playing that many games?
Yeah, it was that was actually a great experience because when I came back to a Soyuz there, it was near the end of the season, so I didn't really get too many looks or anything with like the fellas. I just kind of bounced in there and started playing, and then having that many playoff games. We were the Soyuz. They were ranked third, I believe. They're kind of underdogs going into the playoffs, and then we ended up just everyone just started clicking together, and we had an amazing run. And I think it went up to like Game 7 of like the conference final or something like that. So we lost. It was a barn burner. I think it was just by 1 goal or something like that. But it was just an overall great experience, just kind of making that run, that playoff run, and kind of just enjoying the little things for sure.
Yeah, that experience seems like it was really good for you and it helped you throughout your hockey career until like right now where you are right now. So even
Absolutely.
playing the playoffs for that long, it definitely helps you for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely boosts up your confidence when you're having a strong team and everyone's clicking.
Yeah, and do you think confidence is a huge part of how you guys did that season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe it was more it was kind of funny because it was more of a silent confidence. Our group that year, is everyone was pretty humble, but like we just had a different kind of swagger to us, knowing that we were going to go in and eventually pull out a win. So that was awesome. Just like everybody was trusting everybody and everybody was on the same page. So when things are clicking like that, you can't go wrong at all.
Yeah, it seems like if you think you're an underdog team, it like propels you guys to the next level, and it just takes you guys from there.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of gives you gives a little bit more fire in your furnace there when you're kind of being doubted and stuff like that. So it kind of gives you a little bit more juice to play a little bit better.
What was that Game 7 like in that series?
That was for me personally. Like that was the furthest I ever gone, in juniors and stuff like that as a starter. So obviously, the nerves were going, but once the puck drops, it's just kind of everybody. It's just like another game, It just kind of you don't really think about it, and you just kind of go with it. But like I said, it was a barn burner. I believe we lost by just one goal. From my memory, I think it was like 5-4 or something like that. But it was just it was just a high tempo, high paced game, and just something that I can say I'm proud to be part of.
Yeah, for sure. Did you bring that experience to you the next season when you played with Fort McMurray Oil Barons or the AJHL that next season?
Yeah. So after coming back to Osoyoos and playing those games, I just kind of went in the summer. I had the utmost confidence and everything like that, and it was kind of funny because during my time in Osoyoos there, I got a call up to Merritt Centennials in the BCHL, and I played one game there. I think it was versus the Cowichan Capitals, I believe, and I got my first win. I think we won 5-3 there, and so that kind of helped me out. The kind of being able to get that call up, you're able to see if you're able to perform at the next level, and getting that win in the BCHL definitely gave me more confidence for the upcoming season. And in the summer, my father was actually working up in Fort McMurray, and I was just looking for some ice to skate with, and he was just like, "Oh, the Oil Barons camp, kind of go see what happens there." And then I ended up meeting the goalie coach before I went up there, Cody Herenu, who I trained with in the summers and stuff like that. He ended up getting me straight to main camp, and from there I just made the team. And that season I had a very good season, personally, and as a group as well. It was also just a continuation of the following year. Just everybody was clicking again, and we had success that year too, as well.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like you had a incredible year that year. You had a 1.88 goals against average that season, .935 save percentage, and you played 20 games. So it must have been a good year for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience too. I was the backup to Tanner Gillette, who was playing in Denver, their NCAA D1 there, and he was kind of bounced around the coast. So watching him play, I kind of really mimicked his playing style, which really helped me. And just being able to watch, that was more like of a learning year for me because, junior A, that was kind of a step up. But I just kind of rolled with it and just went with the flow, and everything turned out in my favor that year.
Yeah, and for that season, you had a couple awards that season too. And you had the best goals against average, best saves percentage, and top team goaltenders award. What did that mean to you?
That was it meant a lot for sure. It definitely kind of, I wouldn't say caught me by surprise, but I kind of just didn't really pay attention to my stats that season. Everything was just clicking. I was just out there having fun every game, and getting those awards at the end of the season, it just paid off from just hard work and bouncing around and a couple of different teams. Just finding my right spot, like I was saying, just meant everything to me. As kind of for my first really big awards or anything in hockey. So it was definitely a moment I won't forget.
Hard work goes far for sure. You just got to put in the work, and the rest is history.
Absolutely.
So the next season you played a majority of the season with the old Grizzlies of the AJHL and led them to a playoff spot. Would you consider that like your peak of your junior career since you played like 31 games in that season?
Yeah. I think going things just weren't the second season in Fort McMurray. There was a coaching change, and then I got injured really badly. I tore, I think, like 2 or 3 ligaments in my left ankle there, and I was out for for a very long time. So just struggling with that injury and stuff like that, and then having new coaching change and kind of stuff like that. That's what kind of caused me to ask for a trade, and then I ended up in Olds, and I just kind of had the starting role there. So just playing as many games, like for me personally, that's just how I find myself, learning each experience and each game.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to the injury part, how do you deal with that long of an injury? Like, what was your mindset like? Like, what do you do to help yourself recover and get to that best possible spot you could be in?
Yeah, well, it definitely with an injury that long, and it definitely takes its toll on the mind. You're watching your teammates go to battle every single game. So, it's definitely it's hard to say because you definitely have your lows and everything like that, but it's just kind of always looking forward and just doing the right things, going to your physical training or your PT and stuff like that. So just to get stronger every day, and it's just a mental grind. That's all it is, and it's just something that you have to really bear down and just overcome it.
Yeah, especially for like the mindset part of it, it has to be like at the top level because like especially as a goaltender, like I found this out that like your mindset has to be there. If it's not there, you're not going to perform to your best of your ability or recover.
Absolutely.
So after all like your junior career ended, you went on to play Division III hockey at University of Wisconsin Stevens Point, and you put up some pretty good numbers while you were there. What was that experience like?
Yeah, the transition from juniors to university hockey, stuff like that was kind of a huge eye opener for me. Balancing the work and everything, and just kind of just a lot to deal with and everything like that. But the program there at Stevens Point is pretty much unmatched. It was definitely a really big eye opener, to the next level of juniors. So just the way everyone gets treated and how professional you have to act and everything like that all goes up that one more level. So, and again, like Stevens Point, it's a well-known organization. So it was just a good experience to be able to play for them and end up getting a scholarship for them.
Yeah, what was like that like the hardest part of the transition from like playing juniors to like playing at the college level?
For me personally, it was just balancing the schoolwork and just the travel and everything like that. Just really bearing down it when you're there. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but you are an athlete or you are a student first. Sorry, so it's just really comes down to focusing on your schoolwork. When you're traveling, you're just trying to get as much done as possible when you're on the bus or whatever. And then when you get there, it's just kind of you have to flip the switch and it's game time pretty much. So
Yeah, especially being a student athlete, I know that you have to find like that medium to like balance out your schoolwork, balance out your athletic life, and it's just a medium there.
Exactly.
So you went 8-2 while you were at Stevens Point. What was going right for you when during your time in Wisconsin?
It was just pretty much trying to keep my mindset the same as it was in juniors. It was a little bit different. Max Milosek was actually I was back up to him majority of the year and a half I was there. He's currently in the SP right now for the Huntsville. But that was kind of also trying to get in my mind into the fact that my position is not the starter. It's being a backup and just trying to be the best backup I can and kind of switch roles and everything like that. So I find it's just everything, like the atmosphere, college atmosphere and everything was just the best experience, like just to witness and be a part of. It was just a great experience.
Yeah, and that mindset's huge again, like you said. It really helped you. It looks like.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because you obviously every goalie wants to play and stuff like that, and kind of when things aren't going your way or you're not getting as much playing time, you have to kind of settle down, focus more on the little details in practice and going out to those optional skates and everything, and kind of just working on your game.
Yeah, it's going to like you gotta like do what you can to get better. Because
Absolutely,
everything might not go the way you want it to, but like you gotta get what you can control.
absolutely. It's just about trusting the process and knowing that it'll eventually work out.
Yeah. So after your playing time came up at Stevens Point, you played 1 year for the University of Alabama on the ACHA. Why did you
Mm-hmm.
decide to change schools and go to Alabama?
Well, so it was after Stevens Point there. My freshman year, we won the national championship, the D3 in, I think it was Lake Placid, I believe. And, that was by far the highlight, winning the national championship and everything. But then it came back just to my playing time, just always who I've been, just the more playing time I get, the more I learn from myself and learn from my mistakes that I make during games and stuff like that. And because for me, like just practicing, like it's just a different kind of mindset as well, like a game compared to practice and everything. So I just wanted to get more numbers, better numbers, more playing time, and that's ultimately what led me to Alabama.
How did your season in Alabama go that year?
It went really good, actually. It was the team, we were ranked, I believe it was 15th or something in the polls there. So we were making our way to, we were sitting pretty in the standings, I'll just say that, and everything. And things are going good. Again, the team was, clicking and everything. I was getting my playing time, and it was just a fun atmosphere, just a little bit different, like playing in the South and everything, a little change up and a little different from the norm. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what was that experience like going from D3 to playing for a team in the ACHA?
It's wasn't too bad, like the transitional. There's some very good players in the ACHA D1 level and for multiple teams. So making that transition, it wasn't anything really noticeable or any big difference between level of play or anything like that.
Yeah. So I want to go back to like your national championship title during your time at UW Stevens Point. What was that experience like? Take us through like that entire like playoff run all the way up to the national championship.
Yeah, so nearing the end, we kind of put ourselves in a predicament where we needed to bust out like, I don't even know, like 12 wins or something like that. So we had a couple rough weeks, and that kind of put us down in the polls. So just those games were like must wins kind of thing, and the team really bared down, and we ended up pulling out those wins and getting a pull into the Frozen Four there. So we went out, traveled to Lake Placid, and then our first game, I believe, was against Geneseo, and we beat Geneseo, and then the final game was St. Norbert, and we ended up beating St. Norbert for the championship win.
Dang, that must have been an unreal experience, especially since like how it all started, where you had to like win 12 games, like you said, and go all the way to the national championship. That must have been really cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal feeling for sure, because we during the season we kind of had our troubles with St. Norbert, so they had a pretty insane game the night before with UMass Boston, and that game went I can't even remember, like double overtime or something. Wow. It was like an 8-8 game or something like that. Wow. So the boys were all watching that in the hotel room, waiting to see who we had next. And St. Norbert ended up pulling off that win. And I don't know, we just kind of, again, we just felt like we were just a stronger team than St. Norbert, like a bigger ice surface for sure. So we were able to, beat them wide and really crash the net and get the win and just do the simple things.
Yeah, and that must have been unreal. So what was it like playing like in Lake Placid? Because that's a legendary place.
Yeah, it was surreal. We got there and able to walk around the community there, and it's just breathtaking for sure. And then the arena, like the Herbsbrook and whatever, that arena, there's so much history in that. So just getting that win in that rink too is just something, you can cross off the list.
Yeah, that's unreal. I'd really enjoy to play there. Seems like an unreal place.
Yeah, it was very good moment for sure.
So after you played for the University of Alabama, you went on to play a fourth year of college hockey at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. What was it like playing in Vegas and for UNLV?
It was very good. Everything, all the expectations in Vegas, it was spot on. The crowd they have in Vegas too are just, they're great fans, and still like that. There was that awful shooting in Vegas the year prior, so like with the Vegas Golden Knights going to the Stanley Cup final there, just the entire community just rallied around all the hockey community, us, the Vegas, and it was just overall an amazing experience. And then near the end of my time at UNLV, I actually got the chance to kind of get called up and practice with the Golden Knights there, because Fleury, I believe he was out with a flu or something. So I got to go out there and skate with the Knights, and that was also a very, very awesome experience for sure.
What was that experience like? Like, what led up to it, and like, what's the best stories you have from there?
Well, it was actually I was in class. I was doing one of my English finals or something like that. I had to do stand up in front of the class, and I like right before my presentation, I got this call from one of the guys for the organization of Vegas, and they were like, "Hey, we need a goalie. Do you want to kind of strap on the pads and come out for us?" And so I quickly hung up. I said yes, and I breezed right through my presentation and hopped in my car and drove right to the practice facility. And I got there, and I did a nice little walkthrough of their practice facility, dressing room. They had everything lined up for me. Just again, it was just the professionalism was just unbelievable. And you just felt like a pro. And went out there, and the guys were giving me a couple of taps on the pads, and just being able to practice and experience the skill level and the speed of those players is just something that I will forever remember.
Yeah, it just seems unreal. Did you make some saves up there?
Yeah, I made a couple. I made a couple of saves. I think I got Pacioretty on a couple glove saves, but I don't think he'll admit that. But I don't know. It was just good good fun. It was just kind of slowed down. Like just their skill really helped slow down the game, even in practice. Like you didn't really have to worry about like if it was a 2-on-1 or anything like that. Like that the D-man has that guy, and your main focus is just kind of the man with the puck. So it kind of, you wouldn't have to really worry about other options. So it was just like I said, a great experience to like witness how these players play and everything like that.
Yeah, and that just seems like it was such a very cool, very interesting day. Just that's the dream right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how cool is it interacting with like being around like the Vegas players like Marchessault, Carlson, Subban, all those players?
Yeah, it's really good. You know, like we for UNLV there, we shared the practice facilities, so we crossed paths a lot. Um, Going on our way to work and stuff like that. So it was also pretty cool, you know, like after our practice or something like that, we had the opportunity, you know, to stay out and watch practice as well and just see what it takes, you know, at the higher level and kind of the mindset and everything is pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you talk to any of those players still, or?
No, I don't. I mean, like just not any of the guys at the Vegas. No, that was just kind of a one thing, and but definitely my roommates and all my teammates back at UNLV, I still keep in touch.
Yeah, that's awesome. So at the end of your UNLV career, you wanted to play pro hockey in Australia for the Adelaide Adrenaline. That must have been pretty cool, a pretty cool experience playing in Australia. So what was it like, and how did you go from playing in Las Vegas to getting a job in Australia?
Yeah, so it was second semester in UNLV is just kind of the grade point average. I didn't really make it there, so I ended up leaving UNLV and just going back home, not knowing really any options of hockey. So I didn't know if I wanted to, you know, just train at home or really had no idea. And then out of nowhere, I get an email from the Adelaide team saying that they would take a goaltender and stuff like that, import goaltender. So it was pretty much, hey, do I just stay at home and just practice and train? Because I usually just train at the Okanagan Hockey Academy in Penticton there. That's usually where I work during the summer. So I was just thinking, all right, well, do that or go there. So I love the experience. You know, I love traveling and, you know, any opportunity I get. So I took that and ended up flying down to Adelaide, and it was definitely an experience for sure. You know, it was just between like hockey at North America to Australia there, that transition. It's a little bit different, you know, the ice rinks, they don't really, some don't have glass, you know, it's just netting. So, you know, it was just that kind of experience, but it was just something to keep me playing and active during the season, since it's, you know, it's winter time in our summer, so it's just flipped.
Yeah.
So so I just wanted to do that just to keep my keep me in like hockey shape and everything, and game situation kind of plays. So did that, and you know the team wasn't that strong or anything. I don't even think we won a game. So it was just we had a younger team and everything like that. It was more of a developmental like situation there, like development their players, younger players. So it was just kind of, you know, it like kind of hurt my, like I would say my stats, but like, you know, I'm elite prospects, but it was just more for experience and keeping in game shape. And then that's kind of where I received an email to come to Danville.
Yeah. So how does that import system work down there or overseas?
So it's more like a semi-pro league there. So what they do is the team, they fly you. They have return flights for you for the season, so you 3 flights there and back, and then they set you up with a import house. So there was 3 other imports that were from Ontario, and one was from Quebec, I believe, that area. And so we had an import house, and you know, it was two practices a week, and then 2 weekend games, and then during the week they set you up with a job there. So for me personally and my other imports and my other roommates, we were working carpentry jobs. And so the team supplies you with jobs for money on the side and everything. So it's kind of more laid back, kind of more that kind of experience, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like all hockey every single day. It's just you're working, you practice a couple times a week, and then you fly out to games. But it was just like I said, a cool experience just to be in Australia. You know, you go hang out with kangaroos and stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
it was just pretty much for the experience and just to keep me in game shape.
Yeah. So was it hard getting around, or did you guys get used to it, and like did it just come second nature to you guys?
Yeah, it definitely came second nature. At first it was a little bit different, you know. They gave us a car and the driving's on the opposite side, so there's a couple times you found yourself on the wrong side of the highway. But other than that, no, it was Australia was super chill. I really enjoyed it. I fell in love with it there. If I ever, you know, if it ever works out that we're not in playoffs or something and that I could go back there, I would definitely go back to a different Australian league. It was just such a great experience.
What would you say was the best part about playing over there?
Best part about playing over there, I would just say honestly, like just living in Australia, like it's just such a I wouldn't say culture shock, but it's just the culture there in Australia was just so mellow and everyone got along, and it was just pretty much like, you know, as soon as you're done hockey, you could go back, and it was so easy just to make friends from your work, or, you know, just if you're walking around the beach and stuff like that. But I would just say it was just being in Australia, because after hockey, you could just go to the beach and watch the sunset and just go to sleep. It was just awesome.
That seems awesome. Seems unreal. It was a great opportunity for you guys.
Absolutely.
A lot of like goalies that I've talked to and like players in general have said that if an opportunity comes to you, just take it and just run with it for how long you could.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, I think about that all the time. If I haven't taken those opportunities on going to those different places, I may not even be lacing up skates, you know. So
Yeah.
It's just pretty much just, you know, you just got to risk it and just go for it.
Yeah, risk it for the biscuit.
Exactly.
And so this season has been like your first pro season in North America, and you have a really good record of 17-11-1 in 40 games this season with Danville of the Federal. What was it like getting used to the pro lifestyle, coming from playing juniors, college, and then now pro?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I kind of coming back to pro after university. It's almost just like juniors, but you got a little bit more. You know, you have to be a little bit more professional of what you do and everything. But it's just kind of just the ability to focus on hockey. Like, you know, that's like your job. Your job is to, you know, show up to the rink every day and perform. So, you know, I found that a lot easier transition to come back to pro, because the only thing I need to focus on every single day is bettering myself as an athlete. So that's just kind of my take on it. You know, it's just, you go to the rink, you're at the rink for however long, couple hours, you put those hours in, and then you're done with the day, and then you can do whatever else you have planned. So coming back to it, I didn't really have any trouble. It was just kind of, you know, the getting back to the speed and the pace of the game coming back from Australia, but you have enough time to practice before the season starts. So I think it really helped me going to Australia, because I was already in game shape. I already had those games played. So it was just kind of like straight back into a new season kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. How do you think your first season in the FHL is going so far?
Yeah, I think right now it's going pretty good. You know, we got a pretty good team here. Again, the team here in Danville, everybody's clicking. together. We have some younger guys, but then we also have those older guys who have been in the league for 5 years or whatever it is to really establish what they want done for this season and what our goals are for this season. So I think it's just for us is just coming into each game consistent, because I know there's a couple weeks where, you know, we might have been coming in a little bit flat-footed or something like that, but we still managed to get those greasy wins, you know, the 3-2 wins or the close games, which is really important coming in playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys are in second place right now, I believe, right? Or...
I believe we are in third place, right behind Port Huron. So, and I think Port Huron had a couple losses last week. So, this week in Elmira is definitely going to be those 3 games in Elmira are going to be huge. If we get those 3, I believe we'll be in second.
That's good for you guys. For playoffs are coming up soon.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of crunch time right now. I think we only got, I'd say, like 14 games left or 16 games left.
Wow, season went by really fast.
Yeah, it's going by quickly.
So, what has been your favorite moment this season so far?
This season, I would just say, just consistently, playing. You know, just getting the gig all comes back for me. Like I said, just be able to play and learn from my mistakes, learn from, you know, what I did good. So I always, after every game, I'll always watch game video kind of thing and watch goals, watch saves, and just kind of really break down my game and everything. So I would just say just being able to have a place to play would be my biggest thing this year. And Danville is one of the teams that gave me the opportunity, so I'm just kind of taking it and rolling with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So not long ago, you got called up on a loan to the Birmingham Bulls of the SPHL. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was really good. Kind of cool heading back to Alabama. I was only there. I was supposed to be there for a couple weeks, but it turned out to only be a couple days. So it was a couple practices, and then I went to Huntsville for a couple games and just backed up one, and then sat out the other in the stands because their goalie came back from the East Coast. But just having that experience of seeing what the players are like in the SP compared to the Federal League and stuff like that, and just the professionalism of how the players were taken care of. It was just a good experience, you know. And obviously going back to Alabama, I still have a couple good buddies that are still going to university there, so it would have been nice to, you know, give them a couple free tickets to see me play. But again, just grateful for the opportunity of going up there for a couple days and kind of getting my foot in the door.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably brought back a lot from Birmingham and Huntsville back to Danville, mm-hmm. and you performed well off of that. You fed off that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sitting, being a backup on the bench in that scenario in Huntsville, it was that arena and that atmosphere, you know, is pretty much unmatched. So it was just pretty much, I was just really dialed into the game while watching from the bench and just watching how the players move the puck and, you know, like kind of just analyzing the game on how it was going.
Yeah, for sure. So we got a couple more questions for you. So if there are any younger goalies listening to this episode, what's a tip you would give them, or any goalie in general?
It was just pretty much just to trust the process, you know. Things, you know, the season's long, very long, so you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, and it's just important when you are going through those downs just to find something to keep you level, keep you sane, and just keep you focused on the next game, the next practice, and everything like that, just to make you a better goaltender.
Yeah, that just seems like the perfect summary right there. So, what has been your favorite moment of like your whole hockey career? Could be anything from like when you first started or to now when you're a pro.
Well, I would definitely say the winning the championship with Stevens Point would definitely be up there, but I would say probably the greatest moment would be when I first started being a goalie. You had I started off as a player, as a forward, and then in novice you had the chance to go ahead and go back and be a goaltender, and it was my turn, and I loved it and everything, and I told my dad I wanted to be a goalie, and he told me the only way I'm paying for any of your equipment is if you get a shutout, and I think it was like 11-0 we won novice the next game, so he had to go ahead and buy my gear and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'd say, everything happens for a reason. So I'd say I'd definitely keep that story around for sure.
Yeah, and just like you, I started out as a forward, and then I strapped on the pads and at like a stick and puck from my friend's gear, and just fell in love with it. I love
Absolutely.
this position.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Yeah, for real. So, who would you say is a goalie that you look up to?
I've always, since Carey Price kind of came into the league, I've always kind of mimicked my style of play to his play. I know a lot of goalies do watch Carey Price and say he's like their favorite, but I just really, really try and focus on watching him, like clips of his practice techniques, and just like how calm he is in the net, and just how he just looks so fluent, and that's just kind of how I want to create my game to be like.
Yeah, and Carey Price is he's a really good goalie to look up to. I looked up to him when I was younger. Now it's Andrei Vasilevsky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, like he's just out of this world as well with everything. So
yeah, the list could go on and on. I can name tons of goalies that that I look up to.
Yeah, exactly. That makes two of us for sure.
So I believe that's all we got today. So maybe I'll come up to Danville and see a game one day soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
that'd
absolutely.
be fun.
Just let me know, and I'll be able to leave you a couple tickets.
Sweet. So thank you again for coming on to the podcast. It was an honor to have you, and hope you enjoyed it like I did.
Absolutely, yes. I appreciate the opportunity there, Jack, and thanks for the call.
Yeah, no problem. So that'll wrap up this episode of On the Spot Sports. Thank you to Jesse Gordichuk for coming on from the Danville Dashers of the Federal Hockey League. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.